Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Joining me now is Grammy-nominated musician, television host, Bible teacher, and author of the new book, Each One, Reach One, Everyday Ways You Can Shine God's Light, Babbie Mason. Welcome back to 100 Huntley Street, Babbie.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, we're just so thrilled you've joined us, and you're joining us all month long. You know, Babbie, I think a lot of people, of course, you turn on the news and you look at your own life and you often say the world is just filled with darkness. You know, what can we do? Or we feel apathetic about that. But the reality is that the Bible calls us to be the light in the darkness.
Yes.
And your whole book, Each One, Reach One, is based on Matthew 5:16.
Yes.
A Bible verse that talks about shining your light, shining the light of Jesus.
Yes.
Boldly in the world. And sometimes God invites us into the dark places to shine light. And you have stories like that in this book.
Yes.
One in particular that really struck me was you going into a bar for a work-related function and obligation, and the way God used you to share his light.
Yes.
Would you share that story with our viewers
I'd be so
today?
happy to. Well, the book is written around a key verse from the Sermon on the Mount. These are the words of Jesus. It's a red letter passage. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." And the word let means to acquiesce, to yield, to yield the right of way, to grant permission. And I think that's the very first step, is that we just make this commitment to allow God to use us, to say yes to God. And whatever that looks like, you say, God, okay, I'm putting my life in your hands. I have this desire to share my faith and to shine my light, and I'm just going to yield my life over to you to do that, and then leave the rest up to him. You commit to do your part, he will certainly do his part. And so I prayed that prayer, God, wherever that takes me, I want to shine my light and share my faith. Well, I got invited to speak at the Atlanta Songwriters Association, and they happened to have met in a local bar. I wasn't really expecting to be at the bar that night, but there I was, fulfilling my commitment to speak to the songwriters at this local bar. And it was kind of a fun event. When I walked in, they were playing music on the platform and on the stage, and the president invited me up to jam with the band. No rehearsal, which I'm used to that. They do that in the black church all the time. They put you on the spot like that, and you just have to be prepared. You just, fly by the seat of your pants, and it's cool. Yeah. So I said to the band, hey, let's sing Amazing Grace, key of C. So I sang Amazing Grace. Somebody from the back of the room shouted, sing another one. So I said, okay, well, let's do Just a Closer Walk with Thee, kind of Louisiana blues style. All of this is just off the cuff. And we sing a few verses of Just a Closer Walk with Thee. Somebody shouts, sing How Great Thou Art. So we do that. Somebody shouts, sing How Great Is Our God. We do that. The next thing I know, we're in a full-fledged worship service where we are singing at the top of our lungs. Some people have a drink in one hand, a hand lifted to Jesus. We're just having church right there in the bar. It is the coolest thing. Yeah. Well, after about 30 or 40 minutes of singing worship songs, hymns, sharing my story, I take my seat. People come to my table to express their gratitude for the beautiful music, which was amazing. One young man said to me, how can you sing in a place like this? How can you sing gospel music and sing words about Jesus in a bar? I said, well, if Jesus were here, this is precisely where he would come, because he knows that everybody here needs hope. Everybody here needs love. Everybody here needs to know they're loved and that God has a plan for their life. We sat down, that young man sat down with us, and we just shared the Lord with him. And that young man gave his life to Jesus right there in Brookshire's bar. Other people came by and we encouraged them, prayed with them, led some people to the Lord right there in the bar. And so, the moral of the story is, wherever you are, your life and your light are on display. Mm-hmm. And when I made that commitment at the 50th year of walking with the Lord, I gave my life to the Lord all over again and said, Lord, wherever I am, will you please use me? And he is doing that. And sometimes it may be him taking us out of our comfort zone, but this is what I know for sure. Wherever he guides, he provides. Mm-hmm. Wherever we go in obedience, he equips us. We open up our mouth, he speaks to us, and he speaks through us, and that way we can give him glory with our life as we shine our light for him.
Oh, Babbie, that's such an incredible story you've just shared, and so many words of encouragement. Thank you so much for being with us right now.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I'm sure many of you right now might be wondering about starting a Bible study at your local pub or in a local restaurant close to you. And I think that's a great idea because that is where you can find people who desperately need Jesus. And if you want to know more about how God can use us to shine our light, to shine his light through us, and to share Jesus with others, Each One Reach One is the resource for you. And to get your copy of Babbie's new book, take a look at this.